Hi everyone, I'm Laura. Hopefully we're all having a good morning today. So I wanted to talk about individualism, specifically individualism in Korea. And an important way to tie into this is possibly a factor you all know, the Marvel Universe, right? Yeah. So the thing about the Marvel Universe is all of the characters are very individualistic. There's no two Iron Mans, because then it's redundant. So in that sense, it also shows how important individualism is, not just in make-believe, but also in our lives, because it's the most important thing in our life. It's you. So first thing is I want to say a little bit about myself and how I became me. So as a kid, obviously I didn't have any control over anything. So my parents fed me what they wanted to feed me, even if I didn't like it. And when I couldn't walk, I had no choice in where I wanted to go. If I wanted to go to the right side of the room, but my parents took me to the left side, that was in my control. So as I got older, I started doing things maybe my parents didn't enjoy as much, such as climbing when I wasn't supposed to, or eating food that I wasn't supposed to. But that grew and became who I was as a person. So my family still kind of brings it up a lot as something I used to say as a kid is, I do it myself. And that was just the start of my very independent self and how I wanted to do everything on my own, which became my characteristic. So I want to talk about what is individualism. And coming from America, individualism is a key factor in everything you do. And we're very encouraging about being yourself and listening to your heart and doing what's good for you, and even if others around you don't agree with it, what makes you happy should be what you do and what makes you you. So, comparing that to collectivism, which is something I've noticed here in Korea, it contrasts with me versus the group. So it could be something as simple as, I want to be a doctor, but it would be better for my family that I'm a lawyer. So for my family, I would be a lawyer. Meanwhile, in an individualistic society, you would still become that doctor, because that's what's good for you. So I was contrasting that a little bit in Korea, and not in a bad way, but I've noticed Korea is a very assimilative society, wherein a lot of people kind of like to act similarly or look similarly, or again with the family example, be more of a group than an individual, which I don't think is a bad thing. So I want to find a way to combine it. So just sort of like yin-yang, I thought the most prime result of both of these would be a little bit of each. So we're not too individualistic, where we become selfish, but we're also not too collectivist, where we become too selfless and we're not doing enough good for ourselves. So the way to do this is to balance it out. And I really liked this picture as an example of it, because it doesn't necessarily have to be equal shapes or sizes or weights of balance, but as long as they both total out, then I think that's the ideal place to be. So for example, growing up, of course I was very independent and I did everything myself, what I wanted to do. And then slowly, as I got into junior high and high school and became surrounded by my peers and more self-conscious, I started doing what everyone else wanted to do and what my friends wanted to do, what my parents wanted to do, because it was easier for me to do that. And it seemed to make everyone else happier, even though I wasn't as happy. So the way that I came to resolve this was actually in college, when I finally took my independent personality and combined it with trying to make everyone happy. So I would make suggestions, and if they liked it, we went with it. And if they didn't, then we tried something else. And it seemed to work out well in those different shapes. So, to go into that, actually, I would appreciate it maybe if you could temporarily move there, and you could temporarily move there. And I would like it if we could have some discussion time to discuss these questions about your individuality. And you guys can work as a group of 3. So for the first one, if you could talk about the question on the left, time to take a deeper look at yourself. What is a characteristic or something unique about you? So when people think about you, what's the first thing that comes to mind? It can be positive, it can be negative, but preferably say at least one positive thing. And if you could have a minute or so to talk about that in your group setting.